Thank you for watching this final episode of the season of Inside IU Volleyball with Sherry Dunbar. I'm Cody Sherritt. The team closed out its season Wednesday night against Purdue with a loss at University Gym, and then up in Minnesota, losing in 3 sets to the Golden Gophers. Coach, obviously the players will learn a lot from the season, but what did you learn about yourself as a coach this season?
Well, I mean, it was really, and I've said this before, but it's really the first time I've had to do this as a coach, and I learned that there are things that are very important in our program, and our foundation is very important to what we've built already. I learned that we had a really special team and that they stuck together, because I think a lot of times there's a lot of drama created when you start losing like we did, and I was very proud of our program for how we handled that. And that there's things we have to change in the off season. Obviously, when you have a season like that, you definitely want, whether it's with recruiting or whether it's with training and all the off season work you do, and we'll make changes that way. I don't think any of us can look and say, oh yeah, everything was great. No, we made it the best it could be in that situation, but it's not what we want to happen again. And so in order for that not to happen, we have to make changes individually to make sure that it doesn't.
And you and I were talking before we started filming this. You're going to be really busy this off season. You're going to the Final Four, then you have a ton of meetings, obviously recruiting, but on the court, what's going to be the main focus this off season?
Yeah, moving on, I think we had a team meeting yesterday, and we talked about, you definitely don't want this to linger. It can be a motivation to kind of catapult us into something different, but you don't want it to linger and just be like, oh, every time something happens, you don't want to bring up the negative of, if we do it like this, it's going to be another season like that. No, we want to move on and just make the changes and see that daily. So our training regimen will change and how we approach things. But I don't think everything's broken either, and that's what we don't want to, sometimes you almost get in panic mode and think that things are broken. No, a year ago we went to a Sweet 16 and we still have a great program. We have to make sure that individually we can get our players to step up and compete on Friday and Saturday nights. I think that we're training them well, and we have to keep looking at that and figure out ways that, with our attacking or our defense and things like that, and we will, as a staff, really sit down and talk about the technical side of the game as well.
Coach, last season you talked a lot about building leaders. You graduate your 2 biggest emotional leaders, Caitlin Cox and Mary Shadoin, this season. How do you plan on building new leaders for this program?
Yeah, I don't think we'll replace them, and I think those 4 seniors all added a lot, and Mary and Kate being here for 4 years, obviously, added a lot to our program. But I think we'll see some new players step up into some different positions that maybe they didn't before. And it doesn't have to be one person. I think that's the most important thing to understand is I think that's everybody's responsibility as an owner in our program, is that they are going to have some type of leadership responsibility. Maybe that's just their work ethic. Maybe that's just how they approach coming into training, and maybe people can follow that aspect, or maybe it's more vocal. And I think that's what we'll figure out as we kind of go through this spring with some of our young players and some of our juniors.
The NCAA Tournament field was announced this weekend. 8 Big Ten teams. Coach, what are some of your predictions for this tournament?
Well, I mean, we always talk about the Big Ten, how competitive it is, and I think every year when we get to the NCAA Tournament, we see that it is the best conference in the country, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. Having 8 teams out of 12 go to the NCAA Tournament, I think says a lot about, this conference itself. So, I think that there's no better conference that's prepared to play in the NCAA Tournament. I felt it helped us a great deal last year, playing back-to-back against ranked teams every weekend. So we're really looking forward to, I think we had 5 in the Sweet 16 last year, and I'd really hope to have at least that many this year. We have 5 seeded teams from the Big Ten, the most in the country. So I think hopefully we'll see some great things, and I think there's a multitude of teams that could actually get to the Final Four from the Big Ten. So I'm excited to watch.
And we'll be excited to watch too. You'll actually be there, so
yeah.
So you'll get an up-close view of all those great teams.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's always good to go out there and see a lot of old friends, and then watch some Big Ten teams in the Final Four, and I'm a part of the AllAmerican Committee, so that's a great honor to be able to sit down with a lot of good coaches and review films of kids that have had great years and are up for nomination for All-American.
And now we get to our final tweet of the week for this season. It comes from the Twitter handle James McNamara. He says, "Thank you, IU Volleyball, for bringing infectious enthusiasm, spirit, and heart to every game this season. You inspired us."
Yeah, that's great. I actually know who that is, and I love when we've always talked about loyal fans and people that have really stuck with us this year. And we had a mom come in the other day and bring something for us to sign for her 2 young kids, and how much our seniors have inspired them. And it's very nice to see that, and sometimes they forget that, how much they are role models. And even in a bad season like this, or a tough season like this, that there are people still watching them, and they see the heart and the passion they play with. And I think that means a lot to a lot of young kids and inspires them to be better people, better players. And fans just gives them something to cheer about and gives them something to wake up the next day and be like, all right, they're having a tough season, but they're still showing this. I can keep going too, And I think that's what sports does, and that's a wonderful thing. So I'm excited, and hopefully we'll get all those people back next year as well.
That wraps up this season of Inside IU Volleyball. Coach, I just want to take a moment and thank you for letting me be part of this program. It's been an honor calling your games this season.
Well, and I appreciate it. I know how much work, you guys do this, and you're a student here, and we were just talking about all the homework you have and all the tests and papers coming up, and to come in all the time and take your time to do this and travel with us and a bunch of girls and come over to practice. We really appreciate everybody that's involved in our program, and hope that it's helped you along the way.
Thank you for watching. For Sherry Dunbar, I'm Cody Sherritt. Thanks again.